This is part 2 of Intro to Revit. So what we're going to do in this part is learn about all the different drawing documents. So if you're in this Google Doc, you can click on this link and it will open up this PowerPoint that kind of explains the different documentation that we will be doing in this class. So the first one that we are going to talk about is a floor plan. Essentially what a floor plan is, it's a top-down view looking straight down at your building. Okay, and some things that you'll notice in a floor plan is that it tells you where the rooms are located in relation to one another. So if I'm looking at this house, I notice, okay, here's my front porch. I walk into my foyer, which is like my entry space. Then I have my dining room. And then through the dining room, I go into my great room. And from my great room, I go into this hallway, which leads to the kitchen. Okay, so it kind of shows you how all the rooms are laid out in relation to one another. It also shows you the door swings, so it shows me how doors open. So this door opens up into the house and swings outward, okay, like into the house. It also shows you where windows are located. So you'll notice along the walls, if you see any rectangles, those are where windows are, okay. Another thing to think about with a floor plan is that it's a horizontal cut. So when we look, I'm actually going to go back to Revit to kind of explain this. So in Revit, if I look straight on one side of my building, actually let me kind of go to this side. So if I look straight on, it is cutting, making a horizontal slice through my building 4 feet up from the ground. Okay, so here's my ground, and if I go 4 feet up, which is probably about where this ledge is, and I sliced my building going all the way through it, okay, and look down at it, that's what I would see. So you'll notice right where I'm making this slice, I'm going to cut through my doors, I'm going to cut through my windows, and that's going to allow me to see them on my floor plan. Something to note, if you have anything higher than 4 feet, for example, this window we moved up, so if I cut at 4 feet right here, this window is above my cut line, so I will not see it on my floor plan, okay? All right, so let's see, how do I actually get to my floor plan? What you do in Revit, you go to your project browser, and then where it says floor plans, you're going to click on level 1 or whatever level you would be wanting to go to. If you can't see your levels, you might have to expand it. So there's a little plus sign next to floor plans, and that'll show you all of your floor plans. So I'm going to double click on level 1, and now I'm looking straight down at my building. Okay, so it cut at that 4 foot mark, and now I can look at my building. So you'll notice over here, the wall that I changed, you can see I can highlight that window that's above the cut plane, but it's not actually there in my floor plan because we're not cutting through it. Okay, so the next next drawing type that we're going to talk about is a section. Okay, so let me hit present. So a section shows a vertical cut through a building. So where a floor plan was a horizontal cut, this is when you slice your building from top to bottom, and then you look straight on at it. So there's kind of 2 different types of sections that we normally create in the architecture world. The first one is a cross section. So that's saying I'm making a big cut across my entire building, and then I want to look at it from the side. So this kind of shows me relationships of spaces stacked on top of one another. So maybe this is my dining room, and then I realize above my dining room is a sitting area, and then above here is my master bedroom. So you can kind of see how spaces are aligned vertically. Okay, and then the other one that we have is a wall section. So a wall section is cutting through just the wall itself. You're not making a big cut, just the wall, cutting straight through it. And then you can see all the different layers that go into a wall, because our walls are made out of a lot of different things. Okay, it has wood, it has drywall, it has insulation, maybe if it has siding or brick on the outside. Okay, so wall sections give us a lot of information about how a building is actually built. Okay, so let's create a section now. So if you go to Revit, we are actually going to go up to our quick commands. It's right next to our doghouse. It's the circle with the triangle. That's our section cut line. And we're going to make a wall section. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on a wall. Zoom in on one of your more detailed walls, not the wall that we changed. So zoom in on one of the other 3 walls. And what I would like you to do is click on the outside of your wall, go straight across and click on the inside of your wall. Okay, so what we're saying is I want to slice, make a vertical slice through this wall top to bottom. Okay, so now to view that wall section, there's 2 different ways to do it. I can either double click on this circle, okay, on the outside of the circle, you can double click on it, Or you can go over to your project browser, and if you scroll down, you'll notice you have a new header called sections. If I hit the plus button, and I can go to section 1. So if I double click on that, I now can see my wall section. Okay, so you can kind of see those different protrusions that we had on our wall. To see it on a more detailed level, we can go to our project settings down here. Reminder, project settings. Go 2 icons over just to the rectangular box. Click on that and go to fine detail. And you'll notice now I can see a lot more about my wall. I can see all the different layers that are going on inside. So that's a wall section. Our next drawing type is an elevation. Let me hit %. So an elevation is a straight on 2D representation of your building. Okay, so straight on view of the front. There's no perspective. Nothing's kind of getting smaller in the background. It's 2D, it's flat. It's not like a perspective like you see here. See how things get smaller in the back? It's flat. And there's nothing getting smaller. Okay, there's no depth to it, I guess. So this is an exterior elevation. So this is looking at the outside of my building. One way that a term that we use is building facade. So that's like the skin of your building. When you're talking about the outside of the building, you say, oh, this facade is very traditional, right? This looks like a very traditional home. It's not modern. So you can use that word facade. It's like the face of the building. And then we also have interior elevations, and we use this a lot in kitchen design. So if you want to look straight on at a wall in your kitchen, it would show you all the different cabinets that you have. Maybe you have a sink, a light, a window, your backsplash, maybe a little holder for your paper towels. So it gives you a lot of detailed information, and this is commonly used in kitchens. And we will make this when we get to our kitchen design project. So let's check out our elevations in Revit. So jump back to Revit, and our elevations, you can go to your project browser, and we have different elevations. So we have east, north, south, and west. Click on any one that you want by double clicking, and it will open up your elevation. So again, 2D view showing us that facade of our building. That's how you get to elevations.